Rabbi Shmuley Boteach, thank you very much for taking this interview. How are you?
Baruch Hashem, thank God. Thank you for having me. I want to say hello to all my Jewish brothers and sisters in Hungary, a country I have visited many times. I really miss it. We had, as you mentioned, Jonathan, we were offline. Should I call you? Is that what I should call you?
Yeah, Jonathan is fine. Jonathan, doesn't matter.
What should I call you? You tell me.
Call me Jonathan.
Call me
Jonathan. Call me Jonathan if you can.
Yeah, of course. So as I was telling you, Jonathan, offline, that I was in Budapest not that long ago, 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow, what a city. The history, and for our people, unfortunately, such a tragic history, which is really painful.
You wrote a book about it.
You just put the more light, I think. No, that's good. Okay, fine. So my new book, Holocaust Holiday, is just being released, and the book is about how in the summer of 2017 and some subsequent summers, but primarily 2017, I took my children on a almost Europe-wide trip to visit the main Holocaust sites, the extermination sites.
Yeah.
So we actually went to Budapest right after Slovakia. My wife's family is from Slovakia, and they were annihilated. The Jews of Slovakia were annihilated. And Michalovce, Kóser is about a 3-hour drive from Budapest, right? Obviously, it was very moving for my wife, especially for us to visit those areas. And my wife's grandparents, I never met my wife's grandfather, but of course I knew her grandmother, a very special woman, a Holocaust survivor. They were spirited secretly from Slovakia into Budapest, where they survived the war, living openly as non-Jews.
Wow.
And they, in order to cross the border, a guard, I don't know if it was SS or one of the Nazi allies, took his his sword, his knife, and he stuck it into the hay. They were hid by a non-Jewish farmer.
Wow.
And they survived. So Budapest, and of course Budapest has so much other resonance for me as a Jew. The birthplace of Theodor Herzl. It's amazing to me that
and historic sites.
Yeah. So anyway, I want to say a very warm hello to the Jews of Hungary who are watching.
You're very vocal when it comes to Jewish causes. Last week, well, in the past couple of weeks, there's been a war in Israel. You've been very vocal about not just your support of the Jewish state, obviously, but also about the media's take on the issue. In particular, some of the celebrities that sided with the Palestinians based on wrong information. You even took out a full-page ad in the New York Times. And also you raised your concern about Jews not being active enough to show their support to the state of Israel. How do you see Americans' Jewry's attachment to the state of Israel right now, and how do you see it in retrospect back to a couple of years? Do you see any trend, any progress towards more support or less support to the Jewish state?
Well, let me first respectfully correct something. These are not supporters of the Palestinians, these Hollywood supporters. They are supporters of Hamas. And there's a very big difference.
Yeah.
There's a very big difference. Supporters of the Palestinians would never support a terrorist organization that brutalizes the Palestinians. Hamas is a bigger danger to the Palestinians than it is even to the Jewish state of Israel. The Palestinians living in Gaza suffer under Hamas's brutal autocratic rule every single day. And Hamas there was a vote in 2006. And of course, ever since then, they've just ruled without any kind of votes. They've destroyed democracy. They've destroyed representative government for the Palestinians, and they're a bloodthirsty death cult. They engage in honor killings of Palestinian girls whose only crime is to have a boyfriend. They slaughter gay Palestinian men and women. They're disgusting. They're killers. So let's be clear. People think they're supporting the Palestinians. They're actually supporting Hamas, and there's a very big difference. But I'm hoping that my Palestinian brothers and sisters will actually see that Israel is as great a blessing to the Arabs as it is to the Jews. Because if Israel can live a free and open and economically prosperous society in the heart of the Middle East, then that means that Jordan, Egypt, Lebanon, Syria, Iran, that all these countries will one day be the same, God willing. And so many of them are just brutal dictatorships. Iran is the most barbaric government on the face of the earth, maybe North Korea along with them.
How do you see, there's rising anti-Semitism, you mentioned it correctly, which in the past weeks has shown its ugly face, both in the streets of New York, Los Angeles, and many other cities in America. The rise of anti-Semitism, do you foresee a better future for American Jewry, seeing what's been happening or what is happening in the United States?
American Jewry are profoundly worried, concerned right now. That's one of the reasons that I'm honored to do your interview to the Hungarian Jewish community, because I really care about European Jewry. I know how much they've suffered. I don't just mean genocide, the Holocaust. I mean modern anti-Semitism. You know, I've been engaged in major public relations battles, social media battles over the past few weeks with Israel's haters. You know what they really do? It's simple. It's actually a very simple formula. They take all the truth about Hamas and they flip it and just say it about Israel. So Hamas is a terrorist organization. They say Israel's a terrorist organization. Hamas kills innocent men, women, and children. They say Israel's the one killing innocent men, women, and children. They're just flipping the script.
I don't know if you know, but Kóser Szex, your book, Kóser Szex 1 and 2, has been published in Hungarian. I don't know if you know about that.
Yeah, I did know about that. I have a copy from years ago. I wonder where it is. It's somewhere here in my library.
I also have a copy, actually.
Okay.
And I have a bunch of copies of your other books in English. And you also recently, I've seen on Facebook that you gave a lecture about this topic, about intimacy, about relationships, men and women issues. What triggered you to write that book, and what triggered you to have this topic as one of your what should I say, flagship topics?
Well, you know, make love, not war. I wish we could talk much more about saving marriages and increasing passion and intimacy between husbands and wives. And I'm a child of divorce. That's what led me to write all these books, to try to discover what's the secret to making marriage something happy, so that people don't divorce, so the children are not raised like yo-yos, you know, between households. I didn't enjoy that. And my father passed away a year ago. I missed him tremendously. And I wish I could have grown up with my father in the house all the time. But my parents divorced, and my mother, you know, raised us, and I saw my father a lot, but it's not like the same thing being raised by two parents who you see loving each other. So that's what got me into writing Kóser Szex and many other books on relationships. And my daughter Chana, on the 20th anniversary of Kóser Szex 2 years ago, launched this company called Kóser.Szex. Anyone can go to it. It's amazing. She has top relationships.
The pop-up store that's been in Israel.
Yeah, she started a number of pop-up and permanent stores. The store in Jerusalem is permanent, not just pop-up. And she got world attention for it. And make love, not war. I'd much rather talk about love and marriage than talk about people who hate the Jews and genocide. It's just that there's so much hatred towards our people and so many atrocities against humanity that I'm kind of like pulled back into this all the time, because just when I want to, like Kóser Szex is about to launch all these amazing products to help married couples. And just as we're about to launch, Israel goes to war in Gaza. I can't be silent. I'm not going to be silent.